Welcome, Carlos, again to the No Excuses, No Bullshit podcast. How is it going?
Oh, it's going great. It's going nice. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine, man. A little tired, but ready to talk about some interesting stuff with you again.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think today we wanted to talk about let's say scheduled discomfort. So I think like
Yeah.
like the need to challenge yourself from time to
Mm,
time. And I think yes, that's a very important thing. And I recently got also in the situation that I found myself in the comfort zone again and just plateaued. And I think sometimes it's that things get easier, especially if you're aiming for bigger goals and you're in this in those routines. You just stop challenging yourself enough, I think. So yeah, what's your opinion about that? Like schedule discomfort. Do you schedule some discomfort from time to time, or do you just constantly raise the bar?
yeah, I think it depends on the activities. Like, I would say the easiest activity to think about is working out or going to the
Mhm.
gym.
Yeah,
If you want to go to the gym the next day, you can't necessarily kill yourself every day because then it's not sustainable, you know? But you have to make it a habit. Many people rely on, everybody knows the book Atomic Habits. One of the fundamental principles that he talks about is if you want to create a habit, make it easy, make it small,
yeah,
make it frictionless, and that's very important. But if you try to make everything easy, then you're not going to raise the bar.
yeah,
So,
definitely. It's good to start. Well, it's good to
yeah,
start.
to
Yeah,
start.
to get into the discipline game. But if you stay there, and I've seen that several times, like yeah, reading 10 pages a day, like doing some meditation. But like you just stay where you are if you're not constantly raise the bar. I mean, of course, there is a time limit. You cannot read two, three books each day. Of course, you can't, but you can add other habits too. That are more challenging, for example. And I think the workout habit is the easiest one, I would say, where you have not a hard time to constantly raise the bar because you just increase the volume or like whatever it might be you're training for. But in general, I think it's not that easy to for people to ensure that they constantly raise the bar in general. Like if you look at the whole bundle, like the person itself. So because it's nice, you're in a comfort zone. You have arrived at a level that just works, but then you oversee that there is just no growth anymore. You just keep going and you're you're keeping the same level, I think. And that's something
Sure.
I think why scheduled discomfort is of course a good way. So maybe you can do that with challenges. I think I've thought about that. So
Yeah.
you end the challenge and then you do another challenge, but just with a little metrics, like workout protocols, you know?
Yeah. Challenges are a great way to do it. And it depends on, so the way I do it is we recreate the environment, like
Mhm.
another example would be, people who suffer from social anxiety, or public speaking or being in social interactions. You have to, a really good way to get over these things is to put yourself in these situations, and every time you put yourself in these situations, it's going to be a challenge, and you're going to feel the anxiety, you're going to feel the adrenaline, the stress, in your body and your mind. But the more you do it, the more momentum you build, the more momentum you build, the more confidence you build, and the more comfortable you become. You know, maybe you don't learn to master these things completely, but you become comfortable in the uncomfortable,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
so that you're not panicking, you're calm, you can think. Because the worst thing is when you can't really think, you know, your anxiety is just taking over. And for these types of things, you need to schedule this discomfort on a regular basis. It's not just once a week. No, you have to do it continuously. So I think it depends on the activity, like working out, for example, or anything like that. You can do it every day. Like if you just go to the gym, right, and you're not, you can go to the gym every day, and you're not, your last couple reps are not reps of friction and challenge, then you're just wasting time, right? You're
Yeah,
just making motions.
you need to get in there and destroy yourself. Like that's my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I think you I think you mentioned, you know my opinion about that.
yeah.
But the thing is, you mentioned already a very good one that's really, really interesting. Also for me, because I'm also suffering from the anxiety of like public speaking. I have a hard time. Sometimes I've like if I have a presentation, I really like sometimes I cannot breathe. You know, I have a really hard time, like I'm shivering a little, and it's just the first few minutes, and then I'm in the flow. But this first few seconds or minutes are horrible, and they just take you, as you say, that the ability to think clearly, you know. And then it seems like you are here and you are talking, but at the same time it's like you're a robot. You talk but you're
Mhm.
not in the moment, you know, because you're so
Yeah,
like. And that would be interesting, I think, for also the listeners. Like how would you approach that, like a step-by-step plan to get over that, you know, because
yeah.
like really from day zero, and I'm not talking about like talking in front of 100 people on day
Mm-hmm.
30. I'm talking really daily actions, what you could do to get over this.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of creative things you can do as it relates to public speaking.
Mhm.
So public speaking has a lot to do with communication as well, you know, like because public speaking is a fear that people have of being judged,
Mhm.
right? And so how do you get over that? Well, you need to interact with more other humans. You need to put yourself in public and social situations where you feel are feeling anxious.
Mhm.
So you can practice being in a group of people and then tell a story, or you
pitch
can
a
talk. Yeah,
pitch a
that's the
million
challenge.
dollar idea.
Yeah, or you can
Something crazy.
go up to random strangers, introduce yourself. You
Mhm.
know, all of many creative ways to put yourself in social situations and public situations where you just have to continually do it, you know? And you also have to have some some regulation strategies, you know, because after the fact, you know, you don't just want to put yourself in these situations and then because you're going to fail sometimes, you're going to feel like, oh man, I really messed up. So you're going to need to pick yourself up again and do it again. And the way you pick yourself up is by having that emotional regulation strategies where you know what to tell yourself, you know, what kind of thoughts to put in your into your brain so that you can do it again, you know,
Yeah.
and you get better. And little by little, you start volunteering for things. And this is you want to do it outside of the workplace. You don't want to do it in the workplace because, I mean, necessarily, right? Because in the workplace, the pressure is higher.
Mhm.
Not the pressure, but the stakes are higher. You know, so you don't want to do too much experimenting,
Don't want to mess up it.
you might lose your job, or people might think you're weird. Like, wait, why is this guy telling me a random story about my dates or something, you know?
Uh, definitely.
Yeah. So many ways to do it. You can you can sign up for groups, like there's storytelling groups. And then it gets more and more difficult. You can do like open mic, like stand-up comedy open mic.
Oh,
Uh,
that would be a challenge. Whew.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you incrementally increase the challenge. You
Yeah,
don't
you
want to go
raise the
from
bar.
zero. Yeah, things like that. And
Yeah.
you get better.
Yeah, and I think that's just crucial
Yeah, schedule it.
to get yourself, I don't know if that's the right word, but I think to get exposed to a big crowd of people, and also this is necessary for adaptation, like for the whole body, the brain functions and stuff. I mean, it's the same we are doing in the workouts, right? If you're not going beyond your limits, your body has no need to adapt, to different weights and different volumes, reps, and that's the same for public speaking, I guess.
It's exactly the same. And also, when you face your making a list of your fears, when you attack fears, X fears, it's trans that comfort, that adaptation, like you said, it transfers to other areas of your life. So if you have a fear of, you know, fear to, I don't know, some random fear as it relates to a social setting. So maybe, for example, you have a fear of telling stories to your family or something,
Yeah,
and you're facing that fear. When it's time to do public speaking, like you feel more confident actually, That's why the communication and the public speaking is so similar. Like communication is when you're off stage, and public speaking is when you're on stage. So
yeah,
when you work on your off stage, it helps the on stage.
yeah. So do you think the whole home office thing, like this, like a lot of people are working from home, that this has a
Yeah,
big effect on coping with social situations? I think so.
for sure.
Yeah.
But you have to be disciplined. That's where you come in to teach people about discipline,
Yeah.
habits, because people get so comfortable in working from home now that
Comfortable.
that's why this is a really good conversation about scheduling discomfort, because people need it with this day and age, right?
Yeah, I mean something similar is scheduling a marathon, for example. I think.
Mm,
I mean, it has nothing to do with the social situations now, but
right.
if you're working out in the gym and you go for any goal for body metric, let's say body fat or something, nobody will, like,
Yeah.
there's no, you can set any date, right? You can postpone it. But if you're signed
Yeah.
up for a marathon, you have a clear date. And I mean, they start with the half marathon, then the marathon, and then maybe also ultra marathon. So
Yeah.
I think that's also like going beyond your limits, catch discomfort, because the ultra marathon, I think Sam is doing one now. Like actually today, I think he's in the race now.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I think
I
that's
think
that's the type of discomfort is next level, I think. Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's important to do things you don't want to do too, because
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
there's something called I think we were talking about it offline, the anterior mid cingulate cortex, AMCC, I think it's abbreviated, and
Mhm.
it's a part of the brain. It's also called the willpower, and it's the part of the brain that grows as you do things you don't want to do. Like a good example again would be working out. If you like to go to the gym, then that part of the brain is not going to grow. It's only when you do things you don't want to do, you know?
Yeah,
So
okay.
like you
So
mentioned running, like if you hate running, that would build your willpower. And so when you build that, you get the mind used to doing things it does not want to do. So when it's time to, for example, do public speaking, you're more likely to put yourself in those situations to practice or even to do it, like maybe you just raise your hand and say, oh, I'll volunteer and I'll do it, even though you hate public speaking, because you're training the mind to do these types of things, you know?
yeah, that's
So,
interesting. Yeah, so the gym might not be the best to train my willpower because I love it. But yeah,
yeah,
the funny thing is I'm still doing my ice baths in the mornings, and um I still hate to get in the cold water. I
yeah,
have not adapted to this. But I think what changed is that once I'm in there, I have no problem to stay in there for a certain amount of time. So that's something I'm switching up from time to time to stay longer and shorter durations. But that's funny. That's actually funny that I didn't adapt to this. So this still works.
yeah,
But I think that the game changer would be the public speaking, I think. That's
yeah,
something, yeah,
yeah.
something that's really
And
challenging me.
yeah, the public speaking, putting yourself and practicing outside of the real thing,
Yes,
so that when the real thing comes, you're like, okay,
I'm
I can do
ready.
it. Yeah, I'm ready. So it's like a combination of practice and also it's also called momentum, I think,
Hmm.
because it's like the more you do something, the more momentum you build, the more confidence, and that's very similar to willpower, doing things you don't want to do. If you keep doing them, you just continue to do them, you know? It's like a willpower and momentum. They go hand in hand. You can't just do something you don't want to do once and think you're gonna keep doing it. No, you have to actually schedule it and
Yeah, we
keep doing it. Like what you do with the ice baths, right? You do it every day or every other day, whatever. So that's building you know, your willpower because you don't want to do
definitely.
it, right?
Yeah, man, like if
Yeah.
I see how cold the water is because I've something to measure the temperature, like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm already shivering before I'm in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's still a
Yeah.
challenge for me. And we have talked
Yeah.
about that. The dopamine hit you get from that is just nice.
Yeah.
Nice way to start the day. Yeah,
Yes.
just watching the clock, man. We said we make a little shorter session today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the next session is already in 2 weeks, and let's see what we brainstorm for the next session as topic. And yeah, man, I wish you a nice rest of the weekend as always. And yeah, we hear us offline then.
Same, man. Have a good weekend, all right?
Bye, man.